fast can you nut? Yeah, I'm talking about that quickie. I mean, can you get it done fast? And is it a good time? Well, I've got the experts in the building, okay? I've got Dr. Viviana Coles. I've got the kink-friendly counselors from Sex Because. And I've got Dr. Sex Fairy. Come on, we're gonna learn a lot today, and we're gonna do it quick.
Yeah, what's up for a nightcap? Chill, you know, kick back.
Welcome to the Nightcap. It's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and let's get into it with these experts, shall we? Dr. Sex Fairy is Dr. Kanwal Bawa in from Florida. We've got the Sex Because couple, Arian and Charlie. Y'all got, you know, that kink thing down. And of course, sex and relationship therapist, Dr. Viviana Coles. All right, we're gonna get into it with these quickies. So let's define a quickie. What exactly is a quickie? Is it, you know, you've got 3 minutes and no more time, or is it, you know,
that's actually a really good question, because I don't know that anybody has like defined it.
Yeah.
But I would say that for most people, it's getting straight to, whether it's penetration or if you're going straight towards a more orgasmic focused session. But I think it's taking out the foreplay, taking out the afterplay, and just going straight to the core.
Does the orgasm have to be reached?
No.
Oh.
No.
Never.
No.
She's speaking for herself.
Okay.
Because when you have pressure on the orgasm being the end-all, be-all of an experience, then you're denying our humanity. We're not robots, Charlie.
I know. I'm not talking about my orgasm. I'm just talking about, well, she's a squirter. So therefore, I'm not saying it has to happen. I'm just saying.
But I will say it always happens for me.
I just enjoy it happening.
Okay.
It doesn't do anything for my ego, but at the same time, it does something for my ego.
And when it
It does something for your ego, let's be clear.
I just want to look at it on the ground and think about this is what just happened. Because we usually do quickies when we find a good parking lot. We drive to, usually we take drives to Colorado or Oklahoma City to see friends. And usually we're pulling over. And when we have an opportunity to pull over for a second, you want to make sure, especially when you're talking about public exhibitionism, which is one of our things, which we enjoy, you want to make sure that you're doing it in a way that's responsible. So you only have a few minutes.
So we do add other variables to our quickies.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of times.
It's an extreme turn on to be able to do something on the side of the road or do something very quickly at a place that you're not typically able to do that for a longer period of time.
We heighten the experience.
Yes.
So by other variable, do you mean that you might have some of that foreplay happening before you pull over?
That can happen.
Or are there toys involved? Like, what's going on?
That happens too.
Yeah, all of the
variables.
anything you can think of.
Kink friendly is, I feel like a tame term.
I like the fields, though. When you think about it, when you're doing things outside, I mean, there's a heightened experiences there. You're going to get a sex charge if you get caught. Okay, we all will openly say that.
In public places other than your backyard.
We've worked with sex offenders for a long time. We don't want to be one. I mean, we need to keep that contract. But when you're pulling over inside, like we're talking about a parking lot, and you only got 3 or 4 minutes before you get home to see your teenagers, who are natural cock blockers, you want to take that time, and you feel good about yourself. I mean, it's kind of like investing in your relationship, I think.
Yeah.
So quickies, I think, are extremely important, especially when you've been together for the length of time that we have been, 14 years. I've seen guys invest more into their fantasy football leagues where the quarterback changes every 8 to 10 years instead of their own relationship. This is a way to invest in your relationship like you do with your fantasy football team.
Preach.
So.
And Dr. Bawa, you've done podcasts on quickies. What do you think about them?
You know, my podcast, Dr. Sex Fairy, really started because I wanted to have open dialogue. And I'm so censored on social media that the conversation needed to be had. You know, the average man lasts 5.4 minutes. So a quickie is a lot quicker than that.
That's a normally.
That's a normally? What do you mean that's a normally?
That's a normal amount of time then. It's 5.4. It's not really a quickie. That's what the average man is doing.
That's what the average man is lasting. So I said that a quickie would be faster than that.
Yeah.
I think
So
the
get
average.
in, get out, go home.
So that's why it's so important not to always make it be about penetration. It's not about the man's erection, whether it's there or not, when he does or doesn't ejaculate or orgasm, because they're not the same thing.
You're right.
I think it's important to just kind of, like you said, try a little bit of everything. Maybe quickies can be all about pleasure and not so much about the beginning, the middle, the end.
Gotcha.
It's about your toolbox. What more can you do?
What tools you have in your toolbox, and it should be one of those tools. Not the only tool, of course, but it should be one of them, because we don't have, we're limited with the amount of time we have in our day, especially when we have careers and jobs and children and everything else and stressors, and you take all of this into account, and you're trying to make room and time for each other. So it's just a fun thing to do.
Because your marriage will get stale.
Right.
Because we always talk about, one thing about Quickies, the first thing you think about is that person you swipe left or right or whatever it is that you met on Tinder. You've got the first 6 months of your relationship, you're dealing with some endorphins and dopamine that you're not going to be dealing with in 2 years. Okay? But your brain is addicted to that, especially if you're dealing with things like trauma, if you've had a bad relationship before. You've got to invest in your relationship in a way that you have more than just what you started the first 6 months in, so that you can keep that thing going in 14 years. Otherwise, if you can't keep a relationship going on past 2 years because we're past the arousal stage, if you can't keep it going on past 2 years, that's a you problem. That's an investment problem, and that becomes oftentimes, it becomes a male problem sometimes, because one thing that we do is we need that feeling of arousal, but we don't want to be in charge of finding it. We want it to be about someone else doing it for us, the woman doing it for us, instead of us saying, I can see this, I can do this, I'm gonna ask you to do this, this is what my fantasies are, I'm gonna be very direct about what I respond to, and I'm gonna be very direct about what I want. And I'm also gonna listen to you, even if it makes me insecure, I'm gonna listen to you back lead and tell me exactly what you want too. Because I think that one of the problems that we have as men is we don't wanna think about things like Quickie, because we want to say that we're the long strokers. Yeah. We're the ones that want to get going. I listen to Joe this guy. I like
the way he did that, though.
The society tells you that men can't last. And
men
actually,
can't last.
I mean,
I don't want to last all the damn time.
Well, let's see. I'm going to send it over to my guy, Jesse James, who's coming up next. He's going to be making, what are you making?
Damn, Gina.
Damn, Gina. All right, you stay right there. Because we're going to see what makes him say, damn, Gina. A Quickie, I bet you that's what it is. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been talking about the art of the Quickie, but I'm behind the bar now with my guy, Jesse James, who can make something real quick, because you're here to do what, baby?
Back that glass up.
You thirsty, baby, you thirsty.
I didn't even have to say it. Okay. All right, so what are you making?
We're going to make a Damn, Gina.
Damn, Gina?
Which is the
what?
Secret Group's variation of a Tom Collins. It's like a blackberry Tom Collins.
I've never had a Tom Collins. So
You've never had a Tom Collins? It's a traditional drink. It's gin, soda water, and lemon.
Oh, Lord. This is why I haven't had it. I don't like gin.
Wait until we mix in that blackberry.
I'll taste it quickly.
Once we mix in that blackberry-infused syrup, that should make a big difference for you.
So when it comes to Quickies, you've been married a while. Are we getting down on Quickies?
I'm gonna be real honest with you, and this was
me.
before I was married. All sex with me is a Quickie.
Okay.
It's all right at that mark.
Okay.
If you want more than that, we're gonna have to double you down. That's the only choice.
There's nothing wrong with doubling.
Definitely
down,
not.
Okay?
Plus, I'm married with kids. I mean, it's all Quickies these days. Even sometimes, like, we take times off to have a little date and get romantic with each other, but we're just like, we could be sleeping right now if we get this out of the way.
Like, let's hurry up so
Just
we can hit the watch these sheep fly.
Okay, so we went out for a couple glasses of wine to try to have like a long session or whatever, and we got about 15 minutes into it, and I look up and she's just asleep on top of me, like backwards with her back on me, and she was just like passed out and blah, blah. I'm like, baby. She's like, oh. I finally woke her up and she ran to the bathroom and finished in there by throwing up in the toilet.
Wow, that took quite the turn.
So we keep it under 5 minutes so nobody throws up in the toilet.
Yeah, okay, so 15 was wrong for you.
That was wrong for me.
You should have kept it at the 5.
15, like I've ever been within
you
5 minutes of that.
You just said 15 minutes? Yeah, look, and she was backwards. I'm keeping count here, sir.
She was reverse cowgirl, just not awake for it.
Listen, if this wasn't your wife, I'd be questioning who this is.
No, I get consent on those nights before she falls asleep. I'm like, look, if you fall asleep, do I still have consent? Yes or no?
But do you fall asleep beforehand?
Do I fall asleep beforehand? Do you think I ever fall asleep if I'm about to get laid? That's the most exciting part of my day. No.
Oh, okay. Well, cheers to that. To the most exciting part of your day. Yeah, baby.
It's not bad, right? It's refreshing. Damn, Gina.
Baby. All right, see, you just need to make your wife a couple of these. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk more about the Quickie, okay? Because maybe it needs to be a little bit more sensual or something. I don't know. We'll be right back, though. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been talking about the art of the quickie, baby. How quickly can you get it done? And is it good or bad? I've got my experts here. We've got Dr. Viviana Coles. We've got Charlie and Ariane with Sex Because. They're kink-friendly counselors. And we've got sexual wellness Dr. Sexberry, saying doctor multiple. Doctors. All right, so before I went to the bar, Charlie, we were talking about how we should be treating our partners and, you know, the fair shake that we should be giving them and ourselves in order for it to work. And Dr. Baba, you had an interesting point on that you wanted to make, right?
Absolutely. I agree with what you said. You talked about how you should take ownership of the relationship as a whole, not just your own pleasure. And I think that if more people saw relationships that way, we'd be in a much happier and sexier world. Because, you know, variety is the spice of life. And if you can keep that variety going at home, more power to you.
Yeah. But I think the problem is sometimes people feel like we're going to minimize our partner. When I first met my wife, the first thing that I did was, she wasn't my wife yet, is I said, I'm tired of dating. I gave her my email passwords and I gave her my dating profile passwords, and I said, if you like this, cool, call me. She went through the entire thing for 3 hours. I was just tired of being, you know, you try to appear better than you truly are when you meet someone. That's a lot of pressure. I wanted to have a relationship where in year 10, I'm able to tell you I'm a different person than I was in year 1. And I know I'm speaking for myself. The thing that she does for me with this honesty, when it comes to quickies and things like that, my likes and desires have changed from year 1 to year 10 to year 13. Yeah, so being able to be honest about that type of thing, it prolongs a relationship. I enjoy a quickie with her wearing a certain thing that I didn't enjoy before. She'll wear a schoolgirl skirt and she'll pick me up somewhere and we will go have sex somewhere. And I won't know where it is. But she's extremely creative in the process. Gotcha. So this type of creativity, I think, is necessary for you to have the type, especially for men who are afraid to talk about most things, because we're taught when we're young not to discuss emotion and not to discuss our desires. This is important for us to do as men.
Absolutely. In fact, the orgasm gap is a real problem.
It is a problem.
It's a real issue where women aren't orgasming, they're faking it because they don't want to hurt their partner's feelings. And if people can have these honest discussions, that gap will start to close.
But he affords me the safety in the relationship so that we, and I feel like it's vice versa, so that we can be vulnerable with each other to be that honest. If something isn't working, we can say this isn't working and we'd like to try something different.
Yeah, because I feel like at some point couples, like maybe, especially after children, they end up relying on quickies, right? And if you're relying on quickies and it, you know, the woman's stressed out because she's got to finish making dinner or she's got to get the kids ready or whatever. She's not in the mental state, but because her partner wants this quickie, she's just like, I'll do it, and she's just there. And so then no longer is there romance, no longer is there intimacy.
No intimacy, exactly.
So can there be too many quickies and not enough, you know, longer sessions? Or, I mean, I don't know if we want to describe it over time, because what's the opposite of quickie, but...
Well, I think it's important for the two of you to kind of figure out, when we talk about variety being the spice of life, does that include duration? Because for some people, they really struggle with that. And of course, there is help out there, you know, people who are too early to ejaculate or too early to orgasm, because it is a problem for women as well. It can become too sensitive and it kind of halts the entire process. So you're not alone, men, when it comes to early finishing. But I just think that it's important for the two of you to figure out, how much time do we have to just celebrate our sensuality? And that doesn't have to always include penetration.
It doesn't.
So many people think that sex equals penetration. That's not always the case. And I'm always telling my clients, if you can get in 2 sensual experiences a week, especially if you're busy, you have a job, you have kids, you have all that, then you're probably going to do okay. Now, would it be nice if one of those included a full-out episode, you know, experience from foreplay, and even before that, to have this seduction and maybe afterwards to be able to talk about it and really bask in the afterglow? Yes. I just don't know of many people who can do that outside of a vacation.
Yeah. And that's a
So
good
when
point.
it comes to like is there anything quick about sensuality? Like, can you be sensual in a short amount of time? Because
Well,
I'm imagining a quickie is like, all right, we got to right quick because we got to take a shower and then head out the door.
So if you're looking at sensuality or sexuality as something that's like it's a light switch, or okay, we're rolling, right? And this is when it happens, and then we're not, okay, and now we're off, then yeah, I can feel that way. But what I'm also hoping and teaching my clients to do is that sensuality should be something that is almost like an underlying current in your relationship that you can tap into. So it doesn't feel like you're having to call the gas company to go turn on the gas outside the house, and then you come inside and turn it on there, turn on the pilot light. No, the pilot light is on, you access it, let's go. And so I just think that it's important to have that current going.
I'm glad you said that, because when you said pilot light, and that's something that can obviously go out. And if you don't use it, you lose it. So maybe the quickie is something that keeps your body in tune with your own sexuality, to remind yourself that, hey, I am a sexual person and this is something that can be done. And we are sexual people. And I think that is lost a lot of times in relationships, because they forget to see each other as sexual beings.
It can be affirming and reaffirming.
And Dr. Bava, I mean, Arian just said if you don't use it, you lose it. Is that true about the sensations in your...
Yes, there is such a thing as atrophy, where tissue will die over time from lack of use. So if a penis, for instance, doesn't get good blood flow, it starts to shrink. That's a real problem. If a vagina isn't getting blood flow, because people think blood flow is just an erection issue, and I disagree strongly, because the vagina needs blood flow as much as a penis does. And when you have sex, when you may use a sex toy, you're bringing blood into the area. And that's a good thing.
And that's healthy.
That's healthy.
We don't want no atrophying.
We don't want to lose it. We
Yeah.
want to use it.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, all right.
And also,
Use it often.
but the other thing is that the more you do it, the more you want it.
That is true.
Sex wants sex.
Sex wants sex.
All right, when we come back, we have more quickie questions, but we'll make it quick. So you stay right there. We'll be back quick. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been discussing quickies, and before we let you go, we've got to go through a quick guide, all right? So for my friends Arian and Charlie, my question for you is there a bad time or place? And you guys love doing it almost anywhere, everywhere, ethically. Is there a bad time or place to have a quickie?
Only when it doesn't suit both people involved.
Yeah. And also where there's no coercion or abuse, which is piggybacking off of what she's saying.
Coercion or abuse. Okay. Yeah, we don't want that.
We don't want that at all.
No.
So
want
everybody's
someone
got to be
feeling
on
pressure about
board.
But if you're both down, there are no minors around.
Yeah, yes, and that's a big thing. We take Fridays from 8 to 2 to make it our sex time. And a lot of the times that involves quickies, because you have a warm-up period after dealing with kids all week and things like that, and work and running a company and stuff like that. You have to
You
take
can
the
be
time.
intentional with your quickies.
You can be.
So
Be intentional with your quickies.
Yeah,
Okay,
we'll
I
see.
like that. That's a good
I
move.
love that.
Dr. Viviana, can they be hurtful to a relationship?
Kind of piggybacking off of the coercion piece, if you're just checking off the box to check off the box, if you're not really getting anything physical or emotional out of it and you're just going through the motions, I think over time that can absolutely hurt a relationship. But if you can at least check off a couple or 2 or 3 boxes, maybe not all of them, but some of them, then I think it's worth it.
Yeah. All right, and Dr. Baba, if they're coming to you, they need some help. So how can you help enhance a quickie?
Well, there are many ways I can enhance a quickie, including my nitric oxide booster, which is called Enhance.
Oh, it's literally called
It's literally called Enhance.
Wait, I'm sorry, what is it and what does it do?
Nitric oxide is something in the body that improves blood flow, not just to your genitals, but to your skin, your hair, your nails. So when you improve nitric oxide in your body with Enhance, it enhances how you look, and it definitely enhances how you function. So you come ready to the party.
Come ready. All right.
Well,
Well, thank y'all so much. I hope you had some fun with us. And listen, that next quickie better be better because we taught you a thing. All right, we ran out of time, though. This was too quick, right? We need to have more time next time. Oh, well. Cheers to y'all. We'll see you next time. And cheers to you guys.
Missed out on the nightcap? Well, head on over to our YouTube page and catch up with Carolina.
You can watch full episodes anytime you want. And don't forget to share it with your friends, because we got to keep the conversation flowing.
If you're confident in yourself, who can stop you?
Ding dong, titties.
We're not looking to hurt the sisters.
Gotcha.
But, you know, we can get men pretty big.
Why, do I look disgusting?
No! Also, fellas, the toy is not your enemy, it's your teammate.
Tag it in.
Join us weeknights on Fox 26 at 11:30 and anytime on Fox Soul.